Hey, this is me building a $3 million a year business in public. The way these videos always go is to start with some YouTube comment Q&A just to deliver you guys some value right off the bat. Also, grows the hell out of my channel because more comments means more engagement. Then I talk about my growth on Instagram, YouTube, and products before finally covering one improvement. So this is my main channel over here, 132K subs, just posted a graphic design AI agent yesterday. This is the daily updates channel. I just scroll all the way down to the bottom and then I answer all of your questions. If you want a question answered, just drop it down below this video as a comment and I will eventually get to it. Salo6564 says instantly recommends 5 mailboxes per domain. Can I do more to save on domain costs? Is planning on having 25 mailboxes for this campaign, but I want to know if you advise using the same domain for all 25 inboxes or how you would split it. Do not use the same domain for all 25 inboxes. There are two types of diversification that we're going for here. We're going for mailbox diversification. So we're going for basically take our total daily sending volume and then split it across all the mailboxes. But we're also going for another form of diversification, which is domain diversification. Basically take all of the email volume and then split it not only across mailboxes, but also the domains that those mailboxes are hosted on. Google and other providers, they use both the mailbox that is sending as well as the domain to determine like your spam score, aka your deliverability. So yeah, usually the recommendation is not 5 mailboxes per domain anymore. Maybe I'm a little bit out of the loop. I thought it was 2 to 3 for instantly. But yeah, you can definitely do, like between 3 to 5, I would say realistically. It's just a sliding scale of performance and deliverability versus costs. That said, domain costs are probably one of the smallest things you're going to pay. It's like $10 a year. So that's like 80 cents a month. Realistically, if you're going to save costs, you might as well do it elsewhere at the 25 inboxes mark. But yeah, it looks like Mind Blown Countdowns actually mentions it. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Techalay says, great video. Also wanted to say that I get you with the motivation loss you were talking about. I also need to feel bad or uncomfortable to keep writing. Get what you were trying to say and wanted to say that you're definitely not alone with that one. Thank you, man. And you also asked a quick question here, which I'm happy to do because you didn't actually ask anything. Let's say I'm offering a personalized cold email campaign. The client only has 3 email accounts that aren't warmed up yet. As far as I know, warming up cold email accounts takes 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah, about 21 days. So in that case, should I tell them we need to wait before launching the campaign? Or is there a smarter way to handle that? Also, someone I know well runs a meta ads agency. He posted a job for a sales manager. Part of the description mentioned taking calls to generate new leads. That got me thinking, maybe I should talk to him about using personalized email outreach instead. Do you have any tips on how I should approach that conversation? Anything I should keep in mind? That sort of stuff. Cheers. Love you. Awesome, dude. Happy to help. Let's take a peek at what we got going on. Client has 3 email accounts that aren't warmed up yet. That's very few email accounts, to be honest. 3 at 20 to 30 per day is like between 60 to 90 outbound emails. If you have a 2-step sequence, you're actually only sending like 40 to 50 emails a day. Well, 30 to 50 emails a day. That's very little. Like, it's going to be tough to build any sort of volume there. So just letting you know right off the bat that 3 inboxes is not very much at all. And I usually recommend you do at least 3x that when you're running any sort of offer. Otherwise, it's just hard to get data fast enough to be able to iterate and make a good decision. So should I tell them we need to wait? Yeah, for sure. They need to wait, 21 days or so. Or the smarter way is you just buy a bunch of pre-warm mailboxes today and start delivering results like yesterday, basically. But, that costs. So take that with a grain of salt. The second question, do you have tips on how I should approach it? Well, if it's an inbound sales manager, then they already have a funnel set up. So they're already generating leads. And what he needs is he just needs somebody to manage these leads and call. So you doing a personalized cold email outreach system probably won't have as much comparative value as you just getting the thing that he's already doing and just making it work a little bit better. So you could instead implement some systems in his business that allow him to respond to inquiries faster, maybe within 1 to 5 minutes, because that's typically the bottleneck, just responding to leads. If you can widen that, if you can just respond faster, you can usually increase conversion rate like 2 to 3x. Most people, when they get an inbound lead, they don't respond for like 15 minutes. Literally, like if somebody is submitting a form, they want an answer to that question or they want their needs handled right that second, not 15 to 20 minutes from now. So if you can set up some sort of flow, as I mentioned, that like when somebody submits a form, gets into some funnel, you literally pick up the phone and call within like a minute, conversion rates are going to be a lot higher. And people are going to be, they're all going to have that like wow effect, which is basically what you want. Ashir says, hey, Nick, thanks for the great content. Question, I built a system inspired by your AI lead magnet video. When a restaurant owner responds, they get a form. Their responses go into GPT, which creates a personalized 1-page doc showing their potential ROI from using AI order taker sent straight to their email. Sorry for the long message. While testing, Google Docs gets randomly rate limited. Do you have any settings that you recommend with Google Console to avoid this when it's running on autopilot? I mean, it depends. Like, I don't think that you're really going to run into issues in practice. You're probably using NADN to build this, right? So NADN Google Docs rate limits is about 1 a second. When you're testing, maybe you're doing more than 1 a second, or They have limits at like the second, at the minute, and I think at like the hour mark as well. So maybe you just submitted too many in the previous hour. N8N and the Google ecosystem is just like notably kind of tough, which is unfortunate. So I don't really have any changes that I can suggest here aside from just adding weights and making sure that while you're testing, you're not doing the API request every time. Just pin the data so it's not the same. How do you feel about asset versus just using a straight book a call CTA? Kind of 50-50 is just a sliding scale. Asset-based outreach takes more time, energy up front. If I were just to scroll all the way down to the very bottom of this giant long ass thing, you know, if we just do asset-based versus, I don't know, just book a call, it's kind of a sliding scale, right? Like asset-based versus book a call is higher converting, but it's also more money. And realistically, because of these bottlenecks, probably fewer leads per day. Whereas book a call is lower converting, but it's a lot less money because you don't actually have to generate assets. And then usually, there's no real bottleneck to just scraping Apollo. It's like 0.70. It's like 75 cents per 1K leads now. So if you can get an Appify subscription, you pay that much money per, use your $26 or whatever of credit, pay that much money for it. Oof, you are swimming, my friend. It's even less if you use my code, which is Nick30. I'm 6 years old, interested in AI agents. I'm learning it every day. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, and then guarantees. Yeah, I don't know. I don't entirely know. Vappy bot that takes and calls, places orders right in the POS system. I will save you, I guarantee that this system will save you X, Y, or Z in terms of dollar signs or in terms of hours, or you don't pay. It's usually the best sort of thing. Hey, Nick, thanks for the value. I'm about to join Maker School. Want to know how much I should spend approximately per month once I'm in. Talking about subs like Instantly or other platforms. Want to know if joining Maker School could help me, even though I have zero sales experience. Well, actually, Maker School is basically purpose built for people that have zero sales experience. It's for people that are at the start line of their business. They don't have any sort of like daily accountability or sales systems in place or any experience like knowing how to pitch things to people. So if you have zero sales experience, this is the system for you. Subscriptions Instantly. The main two expenses are cold email and then Upwork. Community, which is the third kind of lead gen approach that I talk about, is free, but it's also a lot more time that you have to invest in it. So those are the main costs. Upwork depends. On average, it's like $2 to $2.50 per application that you send out. I recommend 10, which adds up quite a bit. It's $25 a day, and I also recommend doing 30 days. But the thing is, it's not like you spend. I know what you're all thinking. You're like, oh, 25 times 30 is 750. Oh my God, I'm spending $750 plus Nick's fee. Oh my God, it's $1,000. That's crazy. Well, the whole idea about Upwork is that you don't spend all that money up front. You spend it a little bit per day. And another thing, which is unfortunate, is most people don't actually do the 10 a day. In practice, they do like 3 to 5. Some people do even less, which is even more unfortunate, but whatever. So think about it this way, like 3 to 5 a day. Let's say 5, 250. That's, why is my math not good enough to do that in my head? $12.50. So you spend $12.50. You send them out for a week. So you spend, I don't know, $80 or $90 or something like that. At the end of the week, you get some client that pays you a few $100, makes the ROI back. So if you're consistent and you're smart about how you do things, this is more or less what everybody does. The value there is, you're just not spending it all up front at the beginning of the month. You spread out the cost over time, which allows you to make a return on your investment. Instantly costs between $40 to $100, depends on the plan that you get. Yeah. So it does depend. But lead costs are like 75 cents per 1,000 leads now. If you use my Appify coupon code, it's even less. You do have some upfront fees there, but I don't know, like budget a few $100s if you're going to like actually do it. If you're actually going to dive in and be consistent. If you're not going to dive in and be consistent, it could be like $100. Like it just, it really does depend on you, I will say. Technically, I asked this before, so I'm just going to skip. Russell says, Nick, I know offering free value in cold emails rather than hard CTA is a good way to boost replies. So I was wondering what kind of offers you think would work best. Just think about offering a Loom breaking down a specific workflow could help them, or maybe even offering a simple workflow for free. What would you recommend, or what would you see work well? And I'm targeting online coaches and agencies, thanks. Well, I'll tell you what's really overplayed. What's really overplayed is, hey, I noticed one thing that I could do to save you $5,000 a month. Want me to send over a Loom? How many of these are in my mailbox right now? A million, bajillion. So if I were you, I'd actually just send the Loom. Like I wouldn't actually gatekeep it. But then you run into obviously scalability issues where it's like, you spend 5 minutes per Loom per person. You're only realistically going to be able to do like 5 or 10 a day before you say screw it. So what offers work best? The offer that works best is I will make you or save you this much money. And if I don't do it, then you don't pay a cent. And if I don't do it, I'm also going to keep working until I do it, at least at minimum. And then I'm going to pitch you on something else. And also, even if we do all that stuff and you don't absolutely fall in love with me and want me to continue doing this for you, I'm not going to charge you. That's like the best offer. It's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? what's the likelihood that you actually do all these things? Pretty low. Maybe that offer might have like a 30%, 40%, 50% refund rate. But, are you going to get a lot of interest on the front end? Yeah. And if you're a beginner, just going balls to the wall and doing stuff like that, that does get you conversations, which accumulates skill rapidly, which allows you to then, actually know what you're doing the next time you pitch. So yeah, I wouldn't break down a specific workflow that could help them and gatekeep any of that. Offering to implement a simple workflow for free is pretty cool, so long as that workflow is personalized and can directly be tied to some sort of return on investment. But it's all just like a balancing act between the risk mitigation and then obviously like the thing that you're guaranteeing. You know what I mean? Thank you, Sinatra Foreign. I was having a pretty rough few days back then, and appreciate you offering me some support. Mike says, "Hey Nick, been starting my AI automation journey. Thanks to you. Just wanted to ask a quick question. I know you don't really like cold calling businesses, but could you help me make a cold calling template? What will be the things I say and avoid saying, especially when I currently have zero social proof? Thanks in advance." Ooh, that's a really good question. What was my old cold calling template? I do not remember. It was, hey, I was just walking by. I was door to door, so it was like, hey, I was just walking by, or something like, hey, I walk by here quite a bit. Or something like that. I walk by here pretty often, and I just wanted to ask, do you guys do X, Y, and Z thing? Now, what were we doing? Google Ads or something? I think. Do you guys do insert thing conversationally, and then they start asking questions about it? No, sorry, what do you mean? Or yes, we do actually. Why? Or whatnot. And then I would do. So I'm a Google partner. The idea behind being a Google partner is I had zero social proof, but I filled out this big thing, which was like a partnership, like an application to like not work with Google. I'm putting on the new funky sunglasses I got, or blue blockers that I got. I filled out this cool application to work with Google, and then like get an accreditation called like the Google Partnership Badge. And then the next time, anytime I approached a business, I could say, I'm a Google partner. Hey, so like I'm partnered with Google. I know this is out of left field. I'm partnered with Google. And like when you say that, you buy yourself back a lot of the credibility that you're talking about not having. So what did I do after? I had like a really refined pitch. I think I said canvassing the area back then, which I don't think I'd say now. I'm canvassing the area. Oh shit. I probably have this saved somewhere. I don't know where it would be, but I probably have this saved somewhere. Okay, anyway, I'm just trying to think about like what my thing was. But to answer your specific question, what would I do? I'd actually do a very similar approach strategically to what I'm doing right now for cold email. I would just like convert it into a cold call script. So let me run you guys through what I'm doing for cold email right now. We have, that's not the right thing. We have some sort of like personalization, right? Let's do this. Then we, why am I doing this in a Google Doc when I have this? Silly Nick. Okay. This is the cold email strategy high level. We start with some personalization because we want to answer the question, is this spam? Right? After the personalization, we introduce ourselves because we want to answer the question, okay, then who are you? Can we make this longer? Yes, we can. After we introduce ourselves, we talk about why it's relevant. So we have some social proof because we want to answer the question, okay, so why are you important? And then after that, we provide some sort of offer/CTA because we want to answer the question, okay, so why does this matter? Or like, what do you want, basically? And then, we actually give it. So what does this look like? Personalization. Hey, Nick, love the channel, man. Big time fan. And in particular, one of my favorite things about you is that you push back against X, Y, and Z. I'm Pete. To make a long story short, I help creators make on average $15,000 to $20,000 a month more by taking something really time intensive off their plate, sponsorships or, sponsorship affiliations. Basically I'm an agent and I handle everything for you completely from start to finish. I don't take a single dime from you that I don't earn through performance. And I currently work with Insert all these big people over here. The reason why I'm reaching out to you is A, I'm a fan, and I want to see you succeed. And B, I think there's an opportunity here for me to solve a need that I know that you have. If you're up for it, I'm happy to guarantee you XYZ results within XYZ time. And if I don't, I'm not going to ask for anything. All I would need from you to get started on this is, number one, a 5-minute call. And I can do this with you anytime you're available, whether it's this time to that time or that time to this time. Just give me a number, and I'll even call you today just to double check and make sure that you're free at 2 p.m. And two, I need you to forward me the last 5 emails that you have. We'll take 5 seconds to do this. Here's a guide on whatever, if you don't know how to do that. Let me know, man. Really looking forward to making this work. And as I mentioned, I will do it all completely upfront for free. That's how much I believe in you and what I can do. Don't you want to make an extra $20,000? Right? So that's a quick little example of like a cold call that I would do to like a creator or something like that. Now, are you going to be able to get all this stuff out in one big shot? No, it's going to be some back and forth, right? But something like that is probably what I would do. It depends on your niche and your audience. If you're calling HVAC companies, I'm going to have to do something different. Okay, cool. And then thank you very much, Tech-Alay. Very much appreciated. ChatGPT and Claude? Oh, no, man. I would just, you don't need Pro or Plus. This is for ChatGPT specifically. For testing automations, what you need is API access. So just head over to platform.openai.com, then just like create an account, and then you just have to add like $5 in card value or something like that. So don't sweat that at all. All right. Okay, cool. So that's that. Why don't we now, just while I have a few minutes available before somebody comes over and fixes this thing for me, do some brand stats. So I'm going to jump over here to brand stats. Let's do blast up for my Instagram, and then let's also do my YouTube studio. So this is my main channel, right? 132,020. So if I extend this, looks like we've gone up by about 1,000 since yesterday. This is my Instagram. So 205,918, 17, 18, 16. Ooh, I lost a follower just now. Rip. I don't think I'm ever getting them back. 6,606 on my daily updates channel. So that's cool. And if you just look across the board growth-wise, 1.3, and then 1.1. So these are actually all pretty much the same, which is really interesting. Okay, so why don't we chat a little bit about Maker School, guys? Big issue here. Maker School churn is through the fucking roof. Sorry, pardon my French. Why is it through the roof? Because I just haven't been interacting and engaging as consistently as I should have. Remember a while ago when I implemented a churn reduction strategy called community exclusives, and I got my churn down 4% in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks? That 4% now, if I do this, if I can do this again before it's 22%, let's say I go from 22 to 18, let's go 17% again. This is how much money it's going to make me. 1 divided by 0.22 times 304,290 right now is $1,383,136. Okay, that's how much money I'm making right now off of my audience, basically. Not audience, but people that are in Maker School. If I fix this, and then I instead get this down to 17, this is how much money I'll be making. $406,804. Assumed lifetime value, assuming the churn is the same. So I have the opportunity to make $400,000 right now, mathematically. The way I'm going to make $400,000 is I'm going to get back to community exclusives. I've been unable to do this, to be frank, up until now because I haven't had internet, and I've had to like basically lose a whole hour of my day commuting to an office, setting up a new studio, dealing with a bunch of silly, stupid bullshit that like I just normally don't have to. The friction has been extraordinarily high, but I'm back in my place now, and I have internet, and it's super fast. Everything else is really clean. I got my studio set up and stuff. So with the extra time that I'm buying myself back every day, I'll have time to get back to doing community exclusives and stuff. So that's the idea. That's what I'm going to do. And that's sort of like my big improvement that I wanted to bring up today. I need to get my churn down for Maker School because it's just too high now. It's way too high. So what I'm going to do first, just go back here, scroll all the way up to the very top. Good God, do I write a lot? Open up this improvement doc. Then I'm going to say, create community exclusive for Maker School. Or maybe create community schedule for Maker School and make money with Make because I've gotten off of it. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be the main improvement that I'm going to make. I'm going to go back to creating a community exclusive calendar, and I can actually like repurpose previous calendar and begin recording exclusive videos. Because if you think about it, I need there to be a ton more value inside of Maker School. Also, I need there to be the idea that we're consistently adding value. Right now, I'm consistently adding value every day through questions and Q&A and live calls and stuff. But we need to have that feeling of like exclusivity. We need to be adding even more exclusive value. You know, I increased the price to $184 a month, right? And I did so because we now have like 15 times the content or whatever we used to back when it was $66 a month. But that isn't enough. I need to go above and beyond. If I'm first, I can't just rest on my laurels. I need to go so far above and beyond that any reasonable human being that's in second place all the way to last place just looks at me and says, there's no way I could catch up. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Okay. And that's big improvement that I'm going to make to my whole funnel and everything like that. Aside from that, back to daily recording. So we've recorded 2 videos in the last 48 hours. I published the agent, and I did a smart invoice follow-up system in N8N that uses AI to filter conversation histories and then do some invoice follow-ups. I think this is a much improved version of the make.com system that I built forever ago. And yeah, I also got some funky glasses. So that's the update on my personal life. Have a lovely rest of the day. I will see y'all tomorrow.